So what I did was I braised this gorgeous brisket. I got it nice and brown on both sides. It's a little bit chilled now, but
Color equals flavor in food, guys. Color equals flavor.
Or
black's not good, but brown is great.
As Carla Hall says, there's flavor in the brown, right?
Flavor in the brown.
So now what I did here before I browned it, and this is super important, one of the classic mistakes people make when they're trying to do a really thick, connective tissue, heavy piece of meat like a brisket is they don't season it heavily and they don't let it sit long enough. So the night before, I'm gonna grab you, put your hands to good use here.
Sure.
I've got 8 cloves of garlic. Don't be shy.
Oh, I'll get in there.
Oh yeah. I
smell like garlic all day, all night, and I could never have married a husband who didn't love salami, because that's what I smell like, baby. Red, white, and garlic.
You're talking aphrodisiac. Bring it on. To me. There we go. All right. So we'll get all these.
Yeah, both are men. It would have been a deal breaker if they didn't eat garlic, please.
I'm sorry. I feel like it's one of those things. There's nothing, maybe it's the Italian me, there's nothing more sexy than like the smell of onions and garlic going for tomato sauce. I love all the women are like, yeah, all the guys are like, oh, what is going on in that kitchen?
Let me tell you, boys, girls that smell like garlic, you can slather that EVOO over all of them. You get it out of the kitchen.
All right, so we've got all that great garlic, and then don't be afraid of the salt. So I'm going heavy here, about 2 tablespoons of salt to 3 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Meat loves salt. Protein loves salt. Salt draws those juices out so that as the meat rests with the salt on it, and crispy chicken too, if you want crispy chicken, salt it heavily, leave it in the fridge overnight.
And I want to point something out. You guys see I'm not really measuring. That's part of how I keep it fun and loose in my kitchen too. I don't
measure. It's a drag,
not so precious. Cooking is baking's a little bit more precise. Cooking for me, it's supposed to be about freedom, about personalizing. If you don't have apples and cabbage, use squash and lentils. Use, use whatever, pears. You can use any kind of hard fruit and a little hearty vegetable like this. So I've got a little bit of pepper going in here, that brown sugar, the garlic, the salt.
I like more pepper.
More pepper, more pepper. And then you're gonna layer that all over your brisket.
Crust that sucker up.
Crust that sucker up. And actually, interestingly, we learned this on a field piece at the Chew recently. You don't necessarily have to rub it hard into the beef, and you actually just want to kind of layer it on, and then you wrap it tightly in plastic wrap and stick it in your fridge overnight. This, for me, is the kind of perfect dish. You come home from work on Friday, you get this ready, throw it in your fridge. The next day, you take it out, cook it all day Saturday. You have this awesome meal Saturday night, like invite your friends over, put the kids to bed, invite your friends over, hang out, and then the next day, you have these sick and twisted brisket sandwiches coming to your house for Sunday lunch. Or hash
with eggs over the...
Guys.
I know, right?
She's a genius.
I'm telling you, we're so like this. Okay, so you brown the meat, you take it out.
Right, so after it sat in the fridge overnight, I took the meat out, I let it rest about 20 minutes, let it come to about room temperature.
I'm just washing, go ahead.
I browned it on both sides. That takes about 4 minutes on each side over a medium-high heat. Then I took the beef out, or the brisket out, and here I've got 2 yellow or white onions that I sliced, and I've got them caramelizing. So
you got fresh bay.
I got 2 fresh bay leaves, and now I'm gonna go in here with
cider and apples, go both?
Go apples. I'm gonna go about a 1/4 cup of the apple cider and about a 1/4 cup of orange juice. That little bit of sweetness here is gonna perk this up so nicely. It gives you such a great...
little bit of citrusy perk.
Gorgeous. And I'm using that just to scrape up the fond, those little brown bits on the bottom, so I get maximum flavor of the brisket. Throw that thyme in. Remember, we're gonna take those stems out before we serve this. 2 great apples going in. You can put more in, certainly. The rest of my apple cider. I'm gonna throw a little bit of salt in here, but remember, our brisket's salted nicely already. Let's go in with our cabbage. Our cabbage.
Oh no, the cabbage first. Oh God. How can I forget the cabbage?
Aren't you German or something?
No, I grow a lot of cabbage, and we are cabbage-loving people.
There is that time of year where you're like, I have so much cabbage, I could build a house out of this thing.
I know, that's true.
Okay, so I'm tossing that in. Now we're gonna
throw the nest in there.
Little baby, go
Yes, little baby in the nest.
Okay, and then literally, if you want, this looks like the liquid's a little bit low to me. I would even just
put a little bit up to the top. Sure, just use the sink.
Oh, look.
You just put the liquid up to the top here, right?
You want to go about halfway up your...
You don't want to cover it, guys. You just want...
This is not boiled meat. This is sexy braised meat, okay? Let's keep it that way. All right, now cover it up.
Pop a lid up.
Thank you. This is going to go into our oven, 325.
Here, baby, here's a muffin.
Thank you so much.
325 till it falls apart.
Well, here's the deal. The one thing you want to remember is go 325 for about an hour and a half. At an hour and a half, you're going to take a spoon and spoon some of that delicious onion and apple and cabbage mixture over the brisket. Then you're going to
keep it moist.
Keep it moist, exactly. Then you keep it going another 2.5 hours. So about 3 or 4 hours in, you are going to start to know this is ready because it's going to smell insanely delicious.
And that's this guy here.
That's this guy here. Look, it's fatty, it's juicy, it's awesome. And here, here is our, now if you like French onion soup, this is like French onion soup with a little bit of apple sweetness in there. Perfect. Come on over here. I'm going to show you how not only are you going to love this, your dinner party's going to love this, but your kids are going to love it too. ooh, what are they moaning about?
I know. I think you're gonna get attacked when you leave.
Guys, come hang out at my house. This is how we do. So now, like I said, when I'm doing it for a dinner party, what I like to do, I'm a big fan of making really simple but simply elevated meals like this. You put this on a platter, you spoon, I'm gonna take this ladle because mine's is stingy, spoon this incredible French onion soup blend of apples and cabbage right over top of your caramelized onion. And this is how you serve it alongside great, like little crusty bread. Tuck this in because you want it to start to soak up those juices.
And then is this for the kids the next day or the leftovers?
Now, here's one of the things. So throw that on here. So what I have here are buttered egg noodles. You can use whole wheat or gluten-free, whatever you have. Right. One of the things I found for my kids is it's all about texture. So I cut the meat up small and I cut up the onions and the cabbage and the apple really makes it sweet. Put it over buttered noodles, which every kid loves, and then you end up with this really appetizing dish that they're familiar with, and you get them try to taste a new dish.
To develop their palate.